town is in Lakeville, Minnesota, but we bounced around quite a bit in southern Minnesota. We've gone to Windham, Minnesota, Lakeville, like I said, Jackson, Minnesota, Mountain Lake, Minnesota. We plan to hit 5 more towns at least coming up. That way we can stick to our name of 10 towns.
And those are all like within a few miles?
Yeah, those are all within a half-hour drive from each other.
Okay. And about how far away from Raven's Nest is it?
From Raven's Nest, it is about an hour and a half drive, at least to Lakeville.
And is it directly east, I mean, directly west or is it south?
Yeah, southwest-ish. Yeah, southwest-ish. Just hit 60, stay straight, Kansas.
But we kind of did away with 175 miles away from Eau Claire. We're taking Minnesota and Wisconsin as our critical area. Well, maybe have a question.
How far are you away from the furthest part? From the principality, how far are you away from the furthest part?
So that would be Green Bay. Green Bay is 6 hours from the other side of Raven's Nest, so it's about 7.5 hours away. But, I mean, our 2 big events are Maine and GAC, so they're about 8 hours away from Maine, and they are an hour and a half away. I'm sorry, 8 hours away from GAC, an hour and a half away from Maine. It is kind of a stretch.
I thought we already agreed that we're Minnesota, Wisconsin, or as long as it was Minnesota and Wisconsin, we're good.
In our original, it did happen before I stepped up. When Wolfheim, which was initially to join, it was still, but right before Imhawk stepped down, he secured that. Basically, when our Cora became legit, it was claimed to the Son of Wisconsin. Before our Cora was legit, it was 175 miles surface within Eau Claire. Anybody have any other questions? Go ahead.
Like that, I have a bunch of questions. You said Lakeville. Do you play in Lakeville?
Yes, we do have a shelter currently in Lakeville that we are playing in for the winter months. And then from what the monitor telling me, we will be going to Lakeville, or Jackson. We do have a shelter there. We also do use the shelter for our ANS, which are random, just when anybody wants to host one. We just put on our Facebook, hey, we want to have one, and we have one. But yes, Lakeville is the primary source.
Right. So you do realize that's 10 minutes away from where Mr. the Dawn has their Wednesday game.
He's saying Lakefield, not
Lakefield.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lakefield.
Okay.
Lakefield.
Yeah, that's.
I know what you were getting at, but it's 3 hours away from Mr. the Dawn.
Okay.
It's right on the southern border of Minnesota and the northern part of Iowa.
We asked them, I was talking with them, why did they join Rivermore? And because they're close to the Bentley Kurtz, which is only an hour away. But then Rivermore, so proper in Omaha, Nebraska, is more like 5 hours away from them.
Okay.
Plus, he knows where better things are First Valley,
Right.
so because he used to be.
And I don't mean to step on his toes. I'll give you a little. Dragon's Name, who is their parks anchor, the guy who shows up every single week, is a little busy doing a harvest. That's what he does for 2 months out of the year. But he's been the guy there, and I've been in constant contact with him. The park started out as an outpost of Raven's Nest, and they played with them for about 6 months, helping them become a Verity before they submitted their contract and whatnot. And they submitted it. They formed their own park in February, submitted their contract in May, and got it back in August. About how many people do y'all play with on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis,
Average, like how many?
anywhere from 5 to 10. We're slowly growing.
It's a strong shire.
How many people do you have here today?
Just myself.
Is this the first event that 10 Towns has been a part of inside of
They had
Principality?
6 people at name. They had anybody in the or think about it. Dad, you have a question?
No, I'm just gonna.
Go ahead. Anybody else have any questions? All right, so what we're going to do is we need a majority, so over 50%, 8 votes, so at least 5 votes for them to pass it on the official part of the letters. So start with our start. What's that?
Oh, I have a question. How long has 10 Towns been official part with the contract? August.
And by Arca 4, that's all we need. All right, so if there's no more questions for the Monarchs, we shall go ahead and vote. All right, we'll start with Barony. I'm sorry, the Dutch team, working way down.
All right, I'm gonna have to say no. The reason because the big thing is, this is the first time seeing anybody from 10 towns. I've only heard of your part in passing maybe twice.
Well, Bill?
I'm all for growth, so I'm for you guys.
Cigar?
Oh, I'm bored.
4? Outstanding. Ben? Against? Any reason why?
There's
Five.
if they don't have it.
5 to 10? That's a strong shot. A strong shot.
That beat us for the last 2 months.
I guess
3
going
months.
on 2 times.
Going out for the mix.
Yeah, 6 out of 8. 20.
No, I'm sorry. There was one. There was the big guy one that you
Oh, no, the different principalities were answered.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's 7 people, yeah.
I mean, it's 5 to 10. And they,
No, coming to a nice.
I mean, they will have a huge showing of me. That
makes sense.
They're closer than anyone. All right? There,
Yes.
Great.
So according to the core, we only need 4 months to join the principalities.
No, they have a contract with the first player.
Just a contract not being part for a certain amount of time.
No, there's no probationary period.
I guess that's 4.
Okay. I think.
I'd say it votes yes.
And Minnesota. Did you beat anybody else out? So it's 6 to 2. Favor. We'd like to welcome the Towns First Valley players. We will get everything on the board. We'll have a big congratulations tonight. But I want to do the first congratulating.
Thank you all.
All right, do we have any other business? Okay.
So we'll find Francisco. We would like to come there.
Speak on up.
I got a quiet voice. Sorry, guys. We need to become a barony or whatever. Yeah, right? Yeah. I forget.
Say it from your chest. I can't hear you.
From my chest,
There you
we're
go.
reaching numbers to be a barony, and we would like to vote to become that. Do you want me to stand in the circles?
Yes.
I am really sorry. Gloria Rodeo is not here. I'm going to speak what she was going to say. If you can double check this and anything. Become a barony in the Principality Players. For the last 6 months, you need to have at least 3 months with 20 or plus unique signatures a month. We've done the math. They weekly get over 20, not just unique player of one. So weekly, they've been getting 20 cents. The last month, it's been 10 or 15, but over the summer, 25. So that is not a problem. They've been in the players for a year now, as of November 17th. That's the other stipulation to become a barony. And the other thing is they've done an audit from Gloria, and they have general consensus from the PM and myself. Anybody have any questions for them? Go ahead.
How long is who has the most experience in your park? I'm talking years.
Actually, yours probably I would say it. Unless you still count.
You say how many? I'm curious because
I think the truth.
when Miss stepped up to a barony many years ago, that was a huge thing for us. And it took a lot of work, a lot of people, and a lot of experience. You have to know how to handle the responsibility of being a barony. I mean, we had people in the game more than almost 10 years, and like 10 of them, and we had to struggle for it. Because they wanted us to make sure we were responsible with the power we're being given. And it's not like a shire, you can do pretty much whatever you want. Barony is a huge step. It's a step in the right direction, but it's just a huge step.
I mean, we had a lot of young players, a lot less years in those parts, but I mean, we had like 2 or 3 central people who are real strong people in the park and they're really passionate about this. So I think I'll do this.
Big question. In the last year, how many different people have been in office?
How many different people?
Yeah, as far as one sheriff,
So
prime
current
minister.
reign, reign before that, and reign before that.
Pat, Gerald,
Okay, and that's good.
Andy,
Sorry. I was the two terms of term. I was the sheriff. My regent, my PA was Gloria. My regent was Johnny's wife, Andrea. And then my champion was Gideon. And then afterward was Lane was sheriff, Maddox was regent, Morgan was champion, and who was their, so I guess the PM would change. And then your rank is Steve Barron, Giselle, Gerald, who was here, and John.
My only quandary would be,
It has been a different, no officer in the park has been more than 2 terms in office. They
yeah,
have
because,
been on
I mean, you guys have been, how long were you a freehold? How long were you a freehold
They were
before?
freeholds from October 2012.
2012.
And then they joined, they were a freehold for a little over a year before they joined Polaris in the Rising Lands.
Yeah. One, from my own experience is stepping up is not having the leadership role, be switching over. I'm very much stuff I like instructor, but you're number one.
You're
Number
exactly
6 rating right now.
And that's one thing I absolutely adore about Wolfheim is they've had a different officer role every single time. They're the same people. You know, well, I guess I'll do this time. You guys
And they're growing with it.
and contested elections. Go ahead.
Have you guys been running calls?
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, like, we did the last one for election this last time.
For this last election, how were you running it? Weren't running in false. Were you calling at 3 or calling at 5?
Really have no idea.
No? Do you know?
Yes, champion called 3, the president called 5.
Okay, so you have been calling like the Baron. Okay, I like
You were doing very standard.
We're doing Polaris things. That's Polaris.
Shire doesn't have to call at all, but if they're trying for barony,
No, I don't want to say anything. I don't know before I showed up, but since I've been there, it's gracious. I haven't invited to invite me.
I didn't hear that.
Everything Wolfheim has done is by me. Well, I don't know y'all got questions. I can't say enough. A little bit of history about it and why they have so many numbers is I don't know what the name of the stout group beforehand. So from 2003 to 2008, there was about 20, 30 minutes away in a town called Stout, and they had a legal amp guard where they literally had 40 people, had a crappy cocktail with no outside influence, and they were playing this game amp guard every single week, not keeping records or anything like that, but at the park. And I don't know what they did, but they finally killed her or whatnot, but it kind of died in 2008. And then in 2013, they saw something on Facebook in the Madison area and were like, oh my God, they're playing this legally. And so literally, 40 minutes, there's 15 of them that bus over. Like, they only own like 3 or 4 cars between them. But they pile in and they come and play it for everything.
I have one more question. How many people do you guys have here today? 3. How many?
You don't count. I'm sorry. 5.
5? Cue ball is obviously 2 people.
Warriors not a person.
What was the last event that you guys came out to Prince Valley on?
What was the last principality? PAC? They were none of them there. Walls?
3 people at Road Quest,
No, I think it was people. You said good choice.
11, no, 15 people at Key. I mean, GAC.
GAC had a lot of
There's a lot. And then Maine, we had 8 or 9 people at Maine.
We didn't bring the numbers.
Not as much as CC's contributing, but crazy. Anybody else? All right. Well, so again, we'll start with the Meridian, work our way down. I'm sorry, the Dudley. The vote here is passed. Wolfheim, Shire, Meridian.
I was there to vote for you guys becoming part of Prince Valley. I voted yes, and I would like to be the first person to vote yes for you guys coming up Barony.
I'm just a little shy.
What's that?
I want to go to the dairy.
No.
Yeah, I'm for Wolfine.
Outstanding. Well, I'd like to be the first to congratulate Wolfine on the newest charity in the Principality of Polaris. Anybody else have anything to report? I kind of like how we're doing this. Where I'm coming from, it's called, instead of water meeting, it's called mobile score. It's done early afternoon. Makes it a little easier than, everybody after court wants to go party and whatnot. Right. Good.
You guys this year, you have an 8.
Okay.
I'm going to go through to see if anything happens with that. So I don't know if everybody knows, but the leader of our outer tribe that was at GAC is in jail right now.
I heard it.
Pending child enticement.
So it's still pending?
It's still happening.
His hearing is on the 8th, this Monday. I plan on going to find out what happens, and I will bring it to you guys at that point.
So I just want to know, there was a temporary suspension up until the end of my reign for him. It was nothing screw you. I want to hear the outcome of what happens. I don't want to start pointing fingers. I don't know what happened. It is public record that he got two counts of indecent exposure, but I don't know what that means exactly. So just to play it safe, it could be really, really bad, or
4021 digging in the bush.
Exactly at a park.
Right.
Yeah.
I talked with Crosslands. Nobody felt threatened or safe. We just did the temporary ban or temporary suspension, not a ban, suspension, to the end of my reign. But I will pass that off to Rotan after he steps up.
I want to do some recruiting. For those of you who don't know about it, I talk about this every time we get a group of people together. We all know about Maine, where Maine takes place.
Where is that?
I actually don't know where
McGowan's farm in Mankato. McGowan is a wonderful man. I hope you all get to meet him. And those of you who've met him, I'm sure agree he's a wonderful man.
He's the older guy who walks around with a giant smile on his face.
The second weekend of every October since the 80s, this guy has been putting on what he calls History Fest. He gets in a bunch of reenactors from all over the country. They do Civil War reenactments, Scottish Highland reenactors, Wild West reenactors, and for the past 3 years, he has allowed Raven's Nest to come in, use our foam weapons, dress up as trolls, but the kids come into the ring with us and play Whack-A-Troll. Last year, we had 4 fighters for 3 days, and after the 4 days of this event, it goes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. After the four days of this, we saw about 1,500 kids come through. And I don't know if you guys ever fought 1,500 kids, but it takes a lot of people to do
The
that.
first year.
You were there the first year.
But the bad thing is, and not bad thing, but you can't hit the kids.
Sounds like that.
We always give the kids a shield that you can hit. So we have these little shields that the kids can use. You can hit the shields, you can hit the ground, but you can't hit the kids. So I just want to say this is a wonderful way to give back to the community. It is a camping event. They do allow us to camp out there. They encourage us to build fires. And every Friday, they have all the reenactors make a meal, and they have a huge potluck, and all the reenactors mingle together at the big feast. So the second weekend of October is always a constant. Plan for it, please.
It's a good time.
Right. Before we close, is there anybody that wants to make an announcement in front of the court? I know Rotan is going to talk about Judge Day after he steps up. Does anybody want to step up? If there's anybody, when we do I'm making a list for our herald, I'm not going to ask for business. What's that?
So I'll do a quick announcement about Wolfine's finally getting a winter home in Stoughton. So if there is a place, if you guys want to play, but you don't, because you can't because of the winter, come on down. Anyone's more than welcome.
I'm talking like tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Front of the court, really well.
Not quite. I'll just spread that word though.
Does anybody want to make an announcement before the court tonight?
I did want to announce publicly what I posted on Facebook yesterday about an all thing to put the line in Arctura that deals specifically with what's going on?
Honestly, I'm just doing that one after.
Okay.
A little too late for me. It's all first time. Sorry.
The first time I became modern, it was a no confidence vote. And Ray Hawk just said, there you go, Rotan Hamlet.
When you first time you get mother?
Yeah.
You got the confidence.
Saffron, she doesn't play anymore.
All right, so I'm going to ask that. Thank you all. It's been an amazing time for me. I will definitely keep this train going and supporting Rotan and whatnot. But I want to thank you all for an amazing 7 months. And I had an absolute blast visiting all your parts and get to see everybody. That's it. No.
Break! Go team!